Hey guys, it's Caden. Welcome to another Autism Digest interview. Before we begin, I'm happy to announce that the Autism Digest YouTube channel just hit 102 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support that you've been giving the channel recently. We got some pretty big interviews planned, and if you guys want to see more, keep on subbing, and we'll keep on providing these. With that said, let's get down to business. This next guest is someone who you might know from back in the day. He was the main composer of the Jake and the Neverland Pirates theme song, actually voiced one of the characters, Scully specifically, I think was that pirate's name, and
Or let's go. It's Sharky.
Sharky was that musical pirate, and he's actually a member of a pirate rock band, which I didn't even know was a genre until recently. He is Loren Hoskins. Thank you for coming on, Loren.
Hey, thank you, Caden. I appreciate the invitation.
Of course, I think a lot of people remember you from Jake and the Neverland Pirates. That show had hundreds of millions of viewers back in the early days of Disney Junior, but for those that may not know you, do you mind telling us your story in your own words?
Sure. Let's see. So, my name is Loren Hoskins. I was always fascinated with pirates, and I've always loved, like children's records. Like when I was a kid, I had all these Disneyland records, and they're a huge part of my life. And then when I was in my mid 20s, I was in a sketch comedy group in Portland, Oregon, and my favorite band was a pirate rock band. Crazy thing. They kind of half dressed as pirates, and the music but sounded very piratey. And that was their theme. But it wasn't really for everybody. There was swearing and whatever. But I was a big fan. They were called Pirate Jenny, and the lead singer of that band, his name is Kevin Hendrickson. He became a big fan of my sketch comedy troupe, and we became like mutual buddies, fans of each other's work. And one day I said, "What do you think about a pirate band for kids, like an all ages pirate rock band?" Because his band was guys. It was a rock band pretending to be pirates. But what about a group of pirates pretending to be a rock band, like full costume, the whole bit? This is back in 1997. So nothing like that going on. Back then, all children's music was on cassettes when everyone else was using CDs. And I was determined to make a CD. I mean, the kids can work a CD player. Come on, let's go. So we made a kids pirate album. Well, we said all ages Buccaneer rock. And we started touring and doing shows in Portland, and that spread up and down the West Coast. We did shows in New York. We even opened for like other rock bands. It got weird. It was the same show. We would do the same show in a library that we would do opening for Harvey Danger at a punk club in New Jersey. It was the same thing. But we did that for a decade until the economy kind of took a turn in 2008. And so no one was booking a pirate rock band. So we kind of closed up shop a little bit and said, hey, it was a good run. And then one day Disney sent us an email and said, hey, we're working on a new pirate themed show for our new rebranding of the Disney Channel for kids. And we'd love for you guys to write the theme song. I was like, well, let me think about that. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. And within the space of 3 months, I think, we went from writing the main title to being in the show, writing all the songs, doing all the underscore, and being live action characters in a music video over the credits. It was crazy. And it was a dream come true. I loved Pirates of the Caribbean since I was a kid, and it was like full circle. So I was just really fortunate to fall into that world at the right time. And then since Jake went on for 7 years, and then I went on to write songs for other shows, mostly Mickey Mouse, Mixed Up Adventures, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, Minnie's Bow Tunes, Playdate with Winnie the Pooh. It was quite a run. So 16 years of writing music for Disney, all started with a love of pirate rock.
That's amazing, especially it being 16 years. I can definitely remember hearing some of your songs when I was a kid. I'm 21 now.
Yeah.
So It's definitely amazing how far children's television has come. My next question for you is what have your experiences been with interacting with the autism community, whether that be fans, personal connections, or the like?
Well, that's really interesting. The question to answer. That I've always, again, I was performing for years back before people were really talking about autism, and so it was not a word. Neurodivergent was not a word that was in the regular, lexicon. I just knew that there were kids with fascinations and that would want to sit and talk with me about pirates, and I loved it. Like it. I didn't realize until later. In fact, I found out like a year ago. I was diagnosed with ADHD, and my little brother had been diagnosed with autism. So, and we're grown-ups, and it's just such a strange, wonderful, eye-opening experience to look back on everything now with this new knowledge and this new understanding, and there's much more dialogue about it now. It's incredible, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I'm still trying to figure out things, but so many things are making sense now, and I don't feel like an authority on anything, but I am just super curious and super interested in other people's perspectives on it. So that's kind of where I'm at.
It's definitely a really nice perspective to have. I'm the same way. I was diagnosed at 2 years old. I'm 21 now, and it's always fascinating coming on here and learning about other people's connections to the neurodivergent and autism community. It's honestly one of my favorite things about what I do. My next question for you is how do you think children's TV shows have worked to explain autism and neurodiversity to children in recent years?
Have they? I don't know.
Uh, they have. There's a show that has the first autistic main character in children's television history on PBS called Carl the Collector, I believe. I watched a clip of it, and I would have to say that they represented it extremely well. And there's been some children's television shows here and there, one within Disney called Fancy Nancy, that have worked to try to bring up those conversations in children's television.
That's good. I think it should happen more. Honestly, I think the more we can make space for different people of different perspectives and learn, common words that we can share to kind of understand each other's point of view, it's great. I need to check out that show on PBS. I haven't seen that, but I would love to see more of it. Um, I was from a time where a lot of animated shows was about genre, right? So it's like pirates, dinosaurs, whatever, but now I think it's cool that you're adding pirates, dinosaurs, ballet to neurodivergent characters that are, labeled as such or calling themselves that. And I just think it's a great opportunity to connect with more people.
I absolutely agree. I was born in 2004, was diagnosed when I was 2 years old in 2006. I'm 21 now, and back in 2004, there was no neurodiversity, no X, Y, and Z thing. It was just, this is the story. Mickey Mouse, say, tries to cook dinner or something like that,
Yeah.
and they just hoped for the best when they knew full well that there were people and children that had those backgrounds. So it's beautiful to see. I think there could be some improvements to it, like better explaining it. But if we can get more representation of those stories, not just in children's television, but in all aspects of entertainment,
Yeah.
we could definitely help to foster empathy in other children that may not have those types of backgrounds.
Yeah.
Which leads to my next.
Oh, I was going to say, isn't that what it's all about? Is representation for different people so they can see themselves in art and music and entertainment. I mean, that's what we should be striving for sure.
I absolutely agree. Which leads to my next question. What improvements would you like to see to the inclusion of neurodiverse characters, not just in children's television, but in all aspects of Hollywood and entertainment?
I, I'd love it to get to a point where it's called out, but it's not the focus of everything, too. Like it's, of course, there's a neurodivergent character because, of course, in your own life, there's a neurodivergent person or family member or whatever. But I think we have to have it be the focus of shows for a while, and then it'll become a bit normalized, and we can all talk about it more. But I'd love to see I'd love to see it almost offhandedly referred to. Does that make sense? Like just kind of part of the mix, you know?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think there has to be a balance between not shoving it down people's throats for
Right.
money and fame, and helping children have empathy towards other people's situations. That's honestly what it's all about. Like you were saying, representing those stories respectfully and with dignity without having it forced down people's throats.
Yeah. Or oversimplifying it, or you don't want it to feel condescending, or you know what I mean? Like let's just naturally, sincerely approach it with empathy. Empathy is the biggest word, I think, the most important word these days. So, yeah.
I absolutely agree. My next question for you is, what's your advice to anyone, neurodivergent or not, that wants to make it in the children's television industry?
Okay, I'll tell you what. My advice is always, what do you love? Do that. I know it's silly, but I was, we loved doing pirate rock music and playing at libraries. And we kept doing it and kept doing it. And we did it as favors in the beginning, as little promotional things, but it got to a point where I was paying my rent, dressing up like a pirate and going, yeah, everybody, hey, like that was already a dream come true. But I kept following that and then it ended, but it led to something bigger. I think that's what happens if you follow what you love, what you're interested in, what keeps you fascinated. You will win either way. Because even if you don't, like, become a superstar doing it, you're still been doing the thing you love all this time. So you win. Um, it's about finding that balance, too, and because you still have to do the real grown up world stuff every now and then. So you just pick what you want and just, I don't know. You almost need to just latch onto it and follow it. It won't steer you wrong.
I absolutely agree. Not just with that field specifically, but with anything you're passionate about, really. You still
Exactly.
have to do the adult grown up stuff, like think about how you're going to feed yourself and pay your rent, but you can also do what you're passionate about. That's what my parents always told me.
Yeah.
My last question for you is, what does the future hold for you? Yeah, could we see Jake and Neverland Pirates revival in the future, or what projects are you working on right now?
Well, if it was up to me, yeah, you'd see that right away. But it's not on the boards. I didn't create Jake and the Neverland Pirates. But there is a a lot of shows have a tendency to reboot right about this time. So you never know. But work has slowed down a little bit for me. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I've never lived anywhere else. But I work, online with Hollywood all the time. But there's not a lot of new shows in production right now. Uh, Between the back-to-back strikes and then the fires in LA, I think a lot of things got kind of pushed back a little bit. So I'm in kind of a free space right now, and I've been writing my own music. I've been writing some plays and theatrical comedy. I've been doing some direction on local stages and stuff, and it's been really good, like for the heart and soul. But as far as what the next big project is, I don't know, but I'm thinking about it, and I don't know. We'll get there.
Yeah, I definitely like that perspective, and I remember exactly where I was when I was following the strikes. I was a freshman in college when those were happening, and I was actually in contact with one of the members of SAG-AFTRA asking about the strikes regularly because I was passionate about it. So I do agree those delayed pretty much everything regarding movies and TV shows, but I think passing gets us through anything. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much to Loren for coming on and sharing his story. If you guys want to see more inspiring Autism Digest interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. Check out our August issue that comes out next month by going to autismdigest.com, and stay tuned for the audio file to be posted on Spotify soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.